I wanted to find out if there's anyone who would like to share any special memory with Mutulu. I just want to start off by saying that Mutulu is special to me via my brother, Chokwe Lumumba, because they were comrades together, and he also, Chokwe, represented Mutulu. He unfortunately was not able to get Mutulu free from the grips of the oppressors, and in that cage that they locked him up for 36 years. And that hurt his heart. I know it hurt his heart because he shared a little bit with me, and I think I've shared that with some of you all, about how Mutulu and Sekou Odinga and there was one other brother, they were tortured and abused. And so this, first of all, Mutulu, being a healer, couldn't be a killer. He's not a killer. He wasn't even there the day that situation occurred. But we do know that he has healed prior to going into incarceration. He healed hundreds of people through acupuncture, as well as educated them. Thank you, Sister Nana. And he helped substance abusers with their recovery and to become free.
Peace, how y'all doing? My name is Nino Brown. I'm an organizer with the Jericho movement, the movement to free political prisoners.
Free them all.
Happy Black August. Black August Resistance, right? Also, I'm an organizer with the PSL, Party for Socialism and Liberation. And, you know, I'm glad that I'm out here with all y'all fighting for the release of Mutulu Shakur, because any one of us can become a political prisoner, as his brother just said, right? These folks, these brothers and sisters, Leonard Peltier, Mumi Abu Jamal, right, Joy Powell, they're all in prison for doing what? Fighting racism and fighting capitalism, fighting the system that keeps our people poor, keeps our people unhoused with bad health care. And if any one of us can become a political prisoner and we let one of our brothers and sisters by the wayside, then right on. Right? We know that no movement is worth its weight if it leaves its people behind. Right? The Chinese revolutionary movement, the Filipino movement, every movement that has worth its weight cannot leave its people behind. Right? We're glad that we got Brother Julimu Takim, who was a founding member of the Jericho movement. He's out of prison now, in good health, organizing, right? And that's what they're afraid of. If Brother Mutulu gets out of prison, that he'll continue to heal. He'll continue to be that beacon of light for our young people, right? And we know our young people need revolution. They need change, right? I myself am a 5th grade teacher. A lot of my students, you know, maybe they know about Tupac a little bit. It's kind of fading into the distant past, right? But who they really should know is Mutulu Shakur, right? Folks who are on the older, you know, the younger generation, among their 20s and 30s, they have this chant by Tahira Shakur that they say at protests. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains, right? If you're saying that, then you gotta know who Mutulu is. Every single person who has said that over the last couple of years, right? We saw 35 million people protesting the street just to send that one corrupt police officer, Darren Wilson, to prison. Only one. 35 million people, right? So people are, all those 35 million people who are saying Tahira Shakur taught them, right? That they're saying that chant, they need to raise their voices in the same way for Mutulu Shakur, because this brother is dying in prison. Right, he's dying behind enemy lines. He should be with his family. Not only is he harmless, right, as an elder, right, he's also a progressive and positive force in our community. Right, like I said, I teach 5th grade, and a lot of my students are still being raised by their grandparents, because we know that the prison industrial complex is a real thing. that locks up so many of our brothers and sisters. But free Mutulu Shakur. If you're watching this online, you know, spread the word, tell a friend to tell a friend. We all we got. Peace.
Peace, brother. Okay, we're going to bring on Brother Jeff and Brother Mark so they can say a few words. I wonder if you can go stand up.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm here together with the National Conference of Black Lawyers to join the choir of voices demanding the release of Brother Mutulu on compassionate grounds and reasons. We don't know what the government or the court may do, but what we do know that ever since we were captured in Africa, enslaved and brought to these shores, there were resistance to the oppression and exploitation of our people. Mutulu Shakur is a manifestation of that spirit of resistance and oppression. And in fact, here in Detroit, at an early age of 19, Brother Mutulu, as a citizen of the Republic of New Africa, was present at the New Bethel Church when the government forces, police forces, attacked the leadership of the RNA at New Bethel, firing into a church of hundreds of men, women, and children. Mutulu was present. This isn't no academic issue with him. He personally understood what the nature of violence and oppression has meant to our people. He survived that in 1969. Then on a slight personal note, in October of 1974, when I was 22, he was 23, I had the good fortune of meeting him at National Conference of Black Lawyers Conference down in New Orleans, together with Afeni Shakur. Afeni Shakur and Mutulu were co-chairs of NCBL's National COINTELPRO workshop, where they were working together to organize against the effects of COINTELPRO. We know that COINTELPRO was designed to neutralize our movement, to attack our leadership, and to just attack our organizations locally and nationally. And so he continued with his work against COINTELPRO, and then as a health practitioner in New York, dealing with the scourge of heroin and its impact on our community. The traditional treatment of heroin was to deal with methadone. However, Mutulu became a doctor of acupuncture and knew that that was a viable alternative in the treatment of the scourge of heroin. And he continued his work in advocacy for the liberation of people, for African people here, that led to his charges against him and his present incarceration. So what is important for us is that regardless of whether he is released or not, we are here to lift up Brother Mutulu, whatever the government does. Yes. And we ask the ancestors to use their wisdom and their voices to touch his heart and spirit, so that he knows that the people out here are supporting him and that his efforts, his sacrifice was not in vain. So it's on us in our daily lives, whatever it is that we're doing, that we keep our spirit of resistance to oppression. We keep our spirit for the resistance of an agitation against oppression and resistance. That's right. And in that effort, we all will be liberated.
Free Mutulu! Free Mutulu!
Yeah, thank you so much for coming out and demonstrating support for Dr. Mutulu Shakur. Because in demonstrating support for Dr. Mutulu Shakur, you demonstrate support for the revolution, which is what we need. We must understand that the law is designed so that it is supposed to apply across the board equally to everybody. And when we look at the requirements for compassionate release, it requires that the individual be 65 years or older. For Dr. Mutulu Shakur, check. It says that the individual must have served at least 10 years of his sentence. Dr. Shakur, check. The third requirement is that they are suffering from a seriously debilitating illness. Check. He should be out. But because we're dealing with a country that is based on white supremacy, which is manifested through its systems, specifically the criminal justice system, it's a different set of rules when you're talking about a different kind of a person. And when you're talking about a person who is resisting white supremacy, who is resisting capitalism, who's trying to turn things around for everybody, then we have a different set of rules. There's nothing new about this. All we have to do is look at U.S. history to find out that this is a continuation of a pattern which has been in existence in this country from the very beginning. And the primary objective of white supremacy and capitalism is to ensure that people on a mass level never rise up and never rebel. And the strategy that's used in order to prevent them from rising up and rebelling is to make examples of people. So that when we look at the period of enslavement, when you had an individual African who was recalcitrant, who was trying to plot insurrections, who was burning the crops, who was running away, when they would catch this individual, then they would make an example of him. They would make an example of him by beating and flogging him. They would make an example of him by taking him out and dismembering him. They would make an example of him by setting him ablaze. And they would, in South Carolina, if there was somebody who was a recalcitrant African, what they would do is they would put him in a barrel, nail it shut, drive spikes and nails through the side of it, roll him around, and make every other African watch him scream to his death, sending the clear message, that can happen to you. And so when we look at Mutulu Shakur, there's no mystery about what's happening. They're making it clear that they're going to make an example of him. And they're making it clear to everybody who would stand up and resist that if you do, then this is the type of treatment that you will receive, and that they're making it clear that they're vindictive, and they're making it clear that they never ever forget. That's the reason why many decades have passed and they're still looking for Shushanna Shakur. They're determined to get her because she sets a bad example. Not only did this sister resist the system, but she managed to beat the system by getting out of this country and finding refuge in a place that treats its people decently. And so we have to understand what Mutulu Shakur is all about. And we have to understand that in spite of the fact that they demonstrate such a commitment to humiliating and demoralizing the community, that what they don't understand is the consciousness of oppressed people and African people in particular. Because when you isolate an individual like this, when you treat an individual like this, when you so blatantly dehumanize him, when you degrade him, when you take away his dignity and his very right as a human being to die with dignity, then what you do is you don't send a message to the masses of the people that they are going to be intimidated or afraid. You only make them angry. You only raise their level of consciousness. You only intensify their commitment to resist. And so it falls to us, even though we're small in number, to continue to make known the plight of Mutulu Shakur. Because we take a negative that has been imposed by the federal government and transform it into a positive. We help the people to understand the blatant unfairness and the injustice that has been meted out upon this man who has devoted his life to trying to make life better for other people. And we have to just break it down to the most basic level. If you were to accept what they say about Dr. Mutulu Shakur, if you want to accept the idea that he is the worst criminal ever to walk around, if you want to accept the fact that he is a person who deserved everything that he had coming, then you have to reflect on the fact that when we're talking about dogs, when it comes time for them to finally go home, when they're in such pain and such suffering, just out of basic human compassion, people try and make their deaths, make their transition as peaceful and as pain-free as possible. They do that for a dog. And they're not even willing to do that for Dr. Shakur, which lets you know the nature of the beast that we're dealing with. And it should intensify our commitment, raise our level of consciousness and our determination to ensure that this system, which continues to punish people for resisting against the injustices, the inhumanity, the degradation, and all the things that it has done to cause such misery and such pain for so many people, eventually finds its way into a prison cell that we never let it out of, and we let it die without any dignity whatsoever. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bring them all. The rain stopped. You was killing it.
All right. Give Jeff and Mark a hand. And our teacher here. I wanna, Dave might get mad at me, but I have to call on two sisters that were here, and most likely were here with Mutulu because they were here when the RNA was formed in Detroit, Michigan. And if they would say a word, I would appreciate it. It's our beautiful Queen Mother, Aneb, Gloria house, Sister Aneb. If she wouldn't mind just saying a word or two. And she's a freedom fighter who's
People's Court lawyer.
That's right.
Folks, I'm not good at rally speaking and never step up for this job. But I will say yes, I remember Mutulu. And I would say that in so many different respects, he has been a revolutionary of whom we are very proud and whom we hold in high honor. One of the first people in this country to realize how acupuncture could be used in ways to heal and to liberate people from many different illnesses, not just drug addiction, but drug addiction in particular. He pioneered that program among brothers and sisters who were suffering in New York, and taught others how to do what he had discovered how to do. From day one, I saw Mutulu as a revolutionary in his healing capacity and also in his commitment to us as a people, his love of us as a people. So yes, we have to be out here. We have to always hold up his name. We can never forget him. And we must call now for his release at this moment in his life, to be able to come home and share his last time with friends and loved ones. So yes, long live Mutulu. We hold him with a great deal of love in our hearts, and we are hoping and praying that our being here today, that the ancestors will hear this prayer, this appeal, and that he will come home. Thank you.
Right, all of our speakers that have talked today have a history of fighting for freedom and fighting for justice, and some of them have been doing it a very long time, like our sister Aneb and our brother Jeff and Mark Fancher. Malik Yakini, not so long, because I used to babysit for him. Well, everybody knows that Malik is a freedom fighter, and he's opening up food security here in Detroit, and he has a store getting ready to open up that we all have to frequent and support, right? When is it? Okay, I'm sorry, and I should be corrected by the New African pledge. I should know better. Okay, Anana, my sister, this is Hannibal's wife. Hannibal is no longer with us. He was one of the greatest warriors in the Republic of New Africa that I can recall, and she just wanted to share a couple words, like when you met our brother Mutulu. Can you tell us anything, Anana?
That was very, very brief. I'd always heard of him being in the Panthers in Indiana. Bob and Hannibal, we were both in Atlanta. I forget what year it was. But Akinyele had told Baba that Mutulu wanted to speak to him. And so we went to the prison. That was my first time meeting him. All I can say right now, well, Bob did ask me what we need for give me out. My words to you are, brothers like Sunjata and the rest of them have done what we have asked in the 60s. Now it's time for us to get them out. It's past time. Let the brother come home to his family. Free Mutulu Shakur.
Free Mutulu Shakur.
Let the brother out. These brothers have done what we've asked them, along with your sisters.
Okay. Okay, Shana, give Anana some love. Okay. Who else would like to say a couple words as to why, or just give Dr. Mutulu birthday greetings? Anyone? Okay. All right. That's Blair. Oh my God, the Black Panthers.
They did the same amount of time, 36 years.
Wait,
So this the year for him to get his day off. That's 10 million.
There ain't but a couple people out here that's older than me, but I got some big brothers and big sisters out here. We got some people out here that are fundamental to Detroit current and recent revolutionary struggle. We got some scholars out here, deeply studied scientists in revolution. But first I want to say, Mutulu, we love you. And that our call is global. We charge genocide. We charge that death in prison, 40 years of torture every moment of your life is a violation of human rights. No person, and I have been to the depths of hell in that penal system. When I take that note back, there were a few people who said that they would not even want to ever be released. But we're talking about torture.
Right.
So we're talking about the politicalization of the genocide. And then in the case of Panthers, we have this distinction of having been charged with homicide or conspiracy to commit homicide against law enforcement. And so based on that political decision, all the rest of America is convicted of genocide and torture. And our charge goes to the UN, to the United States Supreme Court, to all the halls of theology and faith tradition. Torture. Mutulu, we love you. We love you. Your life is a model for revolutionary statehood, but in particular for black manhood. All power to the people.
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 This is a passionate struggle. Ain't nothing calm about us being at war for survival. We are in the revolution. This ain't the revolution that we would have selected, but we are in the revolution. And it won't be televised. There are no more commercials. There are no more commercials. Thank you.
All right. This brother knows. This brother was in Mutulu's place. He was incarcerated, and he was there for trying to free the people. For those of you who do not know Brother Blair's story, he was there in the house when our beloved brother Fred Hampton was assassinated and murdered by the, not the police, the pigs. Okay, that's what they did, and he was there, and thank God that he is still here with us. We appreciate him being here. I see some other longtime activists out here. We have Bobby Gibson. I was telling Anana, Bobby Gibson was one of the first teachers at the Malcolm X Academy. And you were there until they merged it, correct? Yeah. So Bobby Gibson has been taking care of our babies for a very long time. We also have Tahira here, right there from the Black Legacy Coalition, and I want to call her name. And then we have quite a few members from Moratorium Now. And I want all of the members to raise their hand. Abayomi and Verbena, Sarah, David are the names that I'm most familiar with. But Mike Shane, these people have been carrying on a struggle, not just against the capture of political prisoners, but also the police actions here in this Detroit area. So before this young teacher of ours leaves, I wanted him to lead us in a chant by Tahira Shakur. Could you do that for us? Okay, he's going to teach us today.
All right, word, peace. Let's do a little warm up. Y'all know the call. What's the call?
Free 'em all!
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 All right, that's what we are here to do, to press for the compassionate release of Mutulu Shakur. So y'all know how this chant goes. I want you to repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect each other.
We must love and protect each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
All right, now let's turn it up a notch. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect each other.
We must love and protect each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
All right, now this last one, I want y'all to do it loud so that Mutulu can hear you, so that Joe Biden and the White House can hear us, right? It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect each other.
We must love and protect each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
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 I say, happy Black August. Right on, right on. Free Mutulu Shakur.
Okay, and aren't we glad to see these young people out here today?
Transportation. That's the bus train. I thought you meant the train station.
I'm young.
Oh, that's what I meant.
We have Sloan from Black Men Will Build over there, but he's on the phone right now. Blair needs to put out a call for assistance with a project he's doing, so I'm going to let him tell you about it.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
I am from the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. After 40 years as a Michigan and Detroit resident, I am a Detroit Black Panther as well. One of the greatest and most alarming things in my life, one of the most urgent things, is the stories of the Detroit Black Panthers. We have not done due diligence in telling those stories and connecting the Panthers to unionism in the way that the Detroit branch was resourced, where it came from, the intelligentsia that was behind it, which was different from any other place in the country. But it was a devastating period in Detroit history. Devastating. And so it's been hard for people to talk. Now it's time for us to seek that history, to tell those stories that we can tell, and we need assistance. I'm an elder, I cannot man that. We need assistance with collecting this and protecting it for the integrity of Detroit's history. The Detroit Black Panther Historical Project. All power to the people.
All power to the people. Go vote, yeah, vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so come on, anybody else want to join us and give Mutulu some love? A few words, anyone? Okay. All right.
I think it will go.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
This is our city. This is our city, Detroit. And now what we have is the Duggan and white supremacists of Michigan take over. We have our brothers in jail and in prison, and marijuana is legal. Why are they still there? Why are people in jail for marijuana? Because this is a police state. It is not to make us free. It is to rip us off and kill us. That is called genocide. And what we want is our brother freed right now.
That's right.
We want him freed right now.
Now.
Okay? We want him freed right now.
Now.
Freedom now for Mutulu.
Freedom
now for Mutulu. Freedom now for Mutulu. Louder.
Freedom now for Mutulu.
Freedom now for Mutulu. Freedom now for Mutulu. I started and spearheaded African-centered education. It's good to see Baba Gibson here. Our children are under assault, as Helen Moore. Mutulu is under assault because he is us. We are him. We want our freedom. We want Mutulu's freedom, and we want our freedom and Mutulu's freedom now.
Now.
Free Mutulu now.
Free Mutulu now.
Okay, Verbena's going to come up from moratorium now and give us some information. And also Malik Yakini over there, another African-centered founder
Should give the
of
Detroit squad
the
email.
school in Saroma that taught so many of our babies. And Aneb is organized Detroit Independent Freedom Schools that is still operating. So we have to give our brothers and sisters love for putting so much love into our children. Free Mutulu Shakur!
Free Mutulu Shakur.
Free him now.
Free him now.
My name is Verbena. I just wanted to name a few things that we're going to try and do until Mutulu's out. We got a bunch of events that we hope you all will join us in if you can. Let me see if I got this right. There's something this Saturday that EMIAC is hosting. We're going to show the movie Dope is Death, the film. You know, people have talked about it today. If you've seen it or if you haven't seen it, either way, you know, it's worth watching again, and in community and in prayer and in struggle for Mutulu. So we're going to do that on Saturday, probably 4 to 6, and then I think there's a poetry circle right after that.
At EMIAC.
At EMIAC, right, at CASCOM. Then, what's the next thing?
Southwest Fest.
Southwest Fest. So it's the second year, so it's a new thing, but it's called Southwest Fest, and we're going to table and try to just get more people to know about Mutulu, to think about him, to sign the petition, to write letters to Congress people, do whatever we can to educate each other and to get him home, to bring him home. So I cannot remember. We also have meetings every other Thursday. We just started this a couple meetings ago. But we started meetings in Detroit to free our political prisoners. So we're focused on Mutulu. We're going to be doing some actions for Mumia Abu-Jamal. He has a big court date coming up in October. Right after the Black Panthers are having a, I don't know what you call it, gathering.
2022, Black Panthers gathering here in Detroit.
2022 Black Panther alumni gathering here, not here, but in Detroit, and so anyway, we're having these meetings every Thursday. They're currently on Zoom. We have it's very easy to register. It's tinyurl.com freedom-meeting. Freedom Dash meeting. So we'd love it if you could join us so we could, you know, build a stronger force here to free all our political prisoners. And in particular today, we wish Mutulu Shakur, you know, well, we can wish him a happy birthday by getting him out.
That's right.
So free Mutulu. Free Mutulu now.
Bring them all.
I also wanted to share with you, for many of you already know this, but they have released everyone connected with the Free Mutulu. Okay. They have released everyone connected to the New York Bronx robbery, the case that is the reason why they claim Mutulu is still in prison. Every one of the people incarcerated are out, and except for Mutulu. And the sister Marilyn Buck, who was his co-defendant, she got out on compassionate release not long ago. 3 weeks. She got out on compassionate release because she too had cancer. And it was 3 weeks before she died. And so she has spent over 30-some years in prison. And then also you have the parole board, who is being so insensitive to Mutulu because the prison guards are advocating for him to leave. They're talking about how he was a great, you know, role model prisoner. Right. Thank you, model prisoner. And he did such good work, so they wrote letters. They put their names to free Mutulu, but they still wouldn't listen. And then they took the case back to the judge, who I understand is 90-something years old, the judge who sentenced Mutulu in the first place. And somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said that come back when Mutulu is sick enough. What did he say, Jeff? When he's on his deathbed. That's what he said. To come back when Mutulu is on his deathbed. So,
and you know, it's the prison doctors who have said, prison doctors who have said that Mutulu had, 2 months ago said Mutulu had less than 6 months. It's not, you know, it's not the activists, it's not his family, it's the prison that's saying that. So now it's like, according to them, it's like 4 months. So is that enough? It's enough. Compassionate release now. You know, compassionate release, parole, whatever works. But he needs to get out.
right. And I, for the first time, I saw the entire film or documentary on Mutulu called Dope is Death. We showed it at the General Baker Institute just a few days ago. And that film, Baba, it was just amazing. Come here. You tell them how it took you back and what this brother did. Because when you look at that film and you see what he contributed to society and the community, then why? Why is he there?
Jumbo, everyone. As they were saying, my name is Victor Gibson. I'm a retired teacher from the Malcolm X Academy African Center School. And yes, I watched the film. And being 69 years old, that came up right with me. And everything you saw in that film, even though it was based in New York, it looked like Detroit. All the heroin addicts, all the drugs that were being put forth. And then I also understood, if you all remember the Herman Keeper Hospital when it was the city hospital? Yeah. Well, that's when I was a young man working for the mayor, Resources for Human Resources Development as a kid. That's when I came in contact with those who came to that hospital to get their methadone. And I remember all the things they did with methadone, how the patients would take the methadone. You're supposed to swallow it. They're supposed to make sure you swallow it. But they were so skinny, they did not swallow it. They would go outside Herman Keeper's building, spit it back in the cup, and sell it. So methadone became another extension of the heroin epidemic. There was no intent to have kids. There was no intent. And in my neighborhood, my brothers and sisters that are part in my family who had to go through that same heroin epidemic, you saw the intent. I mean, we're talking about the cost of drugs now. Think about when you can buy a good high for $1. $1. We call them penny caps back in the day. You can get high for weed for $2. Called a deuce pack for those who want to go back a little bit. So the drugs that hit our city was at the same time that we were lifting ourselves up. We were part of the Black Panther Party, Revolutionary Young Brothers on Philadelphia and 12th. We joined that organization. They were teaching us to stand up. I was in a group, in that cadre group of young people who were getting ready to accept the torch from people like Mutulu and all the other ones who were there. So yes, if you have not seen that, especially for young brothers who always asking us elders, well, how come you ain't got $100 million? How come you ain't standing tall? How come I got to live large on a bridge car and you got all this? That's because every time we build up something in this country, they tore it down. And you don't never come back to us and let us teach you that. That you don't stand on shoulders by yourself. You don't just elevate to the top. You're standing on shoulders of greatness. Get with an elder who was great. Sit at the feet of an elder and let them educate you. That was the only reason I went into school. Because I was a dropout from high school, Northwestern High. Because they were not teaching me something instinctively was not sitting with me. So brothers like Mutulu, brothers like just Malcolm X, we had scholars, we had people in our hood addressing us and pushing us. And so for you young people who wondering where it all is, it's there. It's in you. Like you say, you're not an African. You wasn't born in Africa. But as we taught at the Malcolm X Academy, Africa was born in you. And the moment you accept that fact, then you're on your way, on the road, on the path that we started. So I say, Asante Asana to you. The African Center educations are not done yet.
That's right.
It doesn't matter these famous names, but if the curriculum is not African Center, it's not African Center. Asante Asana.
So what can we all do from this point on? I know most of you have signed the petition online. You have to sign the petition online. You can go to Malcolm X grassrootsmovement.org. Camille.
Free the Land, MXGM.
Say that.
Free the Land, MXGM.com. You can head over to freetheland.mxgm.com. I believe you should be able to find more resources about Mutulu and the case there, and it should take you to the Friends and Family site.
Sante Camille.
Oh, our event tonight. Our event tonight.
Oh, and it'll take you to our event tonight. Nationally, the Malcolm X Grassroots Movement chapters are paying tribute to Mutulu. So please go online so you can sign, if you didn't sign the petition, and take maybe 5 or 6 of your family members online. You know, share that with them. I think Verbena might have, do you have those little cards where they can click on? Yeah. So, oh, okay. So QR code. Yeah, get that. It's called a QR code. Mama Shushanna is not up to date with her technology. That's what I depend on my digital baby. Sarah.
Can I say something?
Yeah, come on.
You want me to hold the phone?
Oh, if I guess, I was just gonna space out.
Okay.
Either way, it's okay.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Mama Shoshana, Camille, and Akimba, who couldn't make it. He couldn't make it today. But everyone in the local Malcolm X Grassroots Movement Detroit chapter, yeah. Just thank you to you all. I'm glad to be of support in any which way I can. I'm videoing on my phone old-fashioned way. It's not live streaming, so this can be put up online afterwards. And if people want the footage, it'll be available. I can, put it on a hard drive or Google Drive or whatever and share it that way too. But in light of it being filmed, for people here and who may not know who will see this, Mutulu Shakur is and was a mentor and raised Tupac Shakur.
Right.
And this fact that although Tupac is 30 years ago and, you know, as old as I, his music is as old as me, and people younger than me are like, wow, that's old school music. There's still plenty of people who, if everyone who listened to Tupac or appreciates and appreciated his music, signed the petition, or put hashtags out, or wrote Congress people, I think that would be very significant. We have an idea amongst our organizing folks to reach out to different Tupac sites or online places and kind of strategize to kind of just comment or tag celebrities or artists locally, or even like, you know, Talib Kweli or Beyonce or people maybe out of our reach or something, and just be strategic and tag them or comment and put the petition up, but a bunch of people all at once. And so if you want to be involved either on the every other Thursday meetings, there's a clipboard. You can put your email, we won't spam you. We'll just tell you when things are happening and when the meetings are happening. And then also, there's also an email for the local Shakur squad supporting Mutulu. It's shakursquad.det@gmail.com. So just thank you everyone for being here and rocking on through the rain. Little rain can't dampen our spirits. If Mutulu has been in prison for 36 years, we can be out here for a little while. Free Mutulu!
Free Mutulu Shakur!
Free Mutulu!
Free Mutulu!
Free Mutulu now!
Free Mutulu now!
Free them all! Free them all!
Hello everybody, Free Mutulu!
Free Mutulu!
My name is Mitchell. I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Now, we're all here, old and young, because we recognize that this capitalist, white supremacist legal system keeps people like Dr. Mutulu Shakur imprisoned for doing nothing than healing and helping others. And I heard somebody earlier a couple comrades bring up COINTELPRO. And, you know, we have a couple young folks here, and that's good, but we really need to tell folks about Mutulu's story and all the other political prisoners that have been locked up because of COINTELPRO. Because COINTELPRO didn't die when the church committee released all that information about how they were destroying organizations, killing leaders and members of people that wanted liberation while strengthening the Ku Klux Klan at the same time. These tactics are still used today, and we can see it in 2020, even here in Detroit and all across the country, where they lock people up for no reason other than demanding their liberation. So on today, Mutulu's birthday, we must demand compassionate release. We must demand that President Biden, who can pardon him right now, do so. Anything to assist Dr. Shakur. Free Mutulu!
Free Mutulu!
Free all political prisoners.
Free them all.
Okay, thank you. That was right on. Also, one of the things that we're doing, the little signs that you're holding up, Mutulu, we love you. If you can take that sign home, or take a picture with yourself holding the sign up and posting it on your social media. Yeah, we are asking that everyone, you know, take the picture before you leave.
Or we'll take it for you.
And we'll take it for you. And then when people, you know, see these pictures all over social media, then they'll know what's going on, right? Baba K, right? Right, yay, Bo. Okay, and then, okay, the petition, the letters to Congress. I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, that the letters that we are sending to our Congress people requesting assistance to talk to the parole bureau, hey, that you can sign more than one letter. Actually, you can do it every day. You know, and if they see them coming every day, maybe they'll do something about it. So we have letters here, and all you do is make sure you put your address, and we can put your Congress people on there and just send them. And actually, Verbena, I believe, they're talking about taking Rashida Tlaib's letters to her. directly, right? And also, if you go to, Camille was telling us, Free the Land, you go to that site, Mutulu's address is on there. So you could write Mutulu. And that, at this point, I think would be very heartfelt to write Mutulu a letter, right? Right. So write Mutulu a letter. And is there anyone who want to make some lasting final remarks? Because we got to get our brother out. There's no reason they trapped him in there on some RICO charges. He wasn't. He did not do the crime. They were angry about Asada Shakur. That's what they were angry about too. So you're gonna just put everything on Mutulu? Come on now. No. Let Mutulu out. Let him go home and spend his last days with his family. And that's not how you treat healers, people who are curing people and helping people off drugs. That's not. But apparently that's how America KKKA does it. America KKKA does it because they don't want our people off drugs. They don't want our people free. Right. So, happy birthday, Mutulu Shakur. Happy birthday, Mutulu. Happy birthday. We love you, Mutulu.
We love you, Mutulu.
I know African birthday song with our great brother. We've been holding it down for our people. Kuzaliwa ya faraha to you. We love you so much. We love you, we do. Kuzaliwa ya faraha to you. We love you so much. We love you, we do. Kuzaliwa ya faraha from our nation to you. All the ancestors send their blessings to you. The seasons are changing for you and for me as we struggle to be strong Africans free.
Wait, Bobby. You give us a line and then let us repeat it. And hey, Baba, we need you with this song. Okay.
Oh yeah, you know the Kuzaliwa ya faraha, I'm sure, don't you, Baba?
Yeah. I know maybe. But if you give us a line, then we can repeat it.
Okay.
At one line at a time.
Okay, Kuzaliwa ya faraha.
Kuzaliwa
ya faraha.
That's not the way we sung it.
Okay, well, sing it different verses.
Okay. Well, you know, we always have a mix, a master.
Raha Kuzaliwa to you. We love you so much. We truly we do. Raha Kuzaliwa to you.
Okay, but
we love you so much.
We used to do it in RNA like that. Yeah. Okay, but listen, you give us one line and then we repeat it. Raha.
No, it's a line after that. Raha Kuzaliwa, we love you so much. We truly we do. Today is your birthday. We want to say, hey.
Okay. Faraha Kuzaliwa to you.
We love you so much. We truly we do. Today is your birthday. We want to say, hey, today is your birthday. Hey, have a good day. It's been a while. It's been 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, that's good right
there. But you gotta make it up in the feeling of what you're trying to do. Right. It's like a mix, like a rapper's mix. So there's no, they didn't write it down for me.
Right.
We just sung it and somebody had a passion. So anything that kind of went with the saying, greetings, love you, share, who you are, what you are, where you want to be. That's part of the whole litany of singing.
Right.
So
It's
no
struggle to be free. That definitely is in
So that's part of it. So I don't.
And we want that warrior out.
That's
we want
right.
him to be free.
Okay, so give me a minute. Let me put some words to it.
Okay.
And I'll get back. If y'all asking me to do something, I can't carry a note in the bucket.
Now you know with those babies you had to just right there on
we
the
did
spot.
Harambe and all that good stuff.
It wasn't even sitting.
We are African people. We are at war.
We are African people. We are at war.
See, that's why we need King Suliata out here.
Oh yeah,
We
King
know all of that.
Suliata.
He is of us. So we got that right
Okay.
here.
I'm just gonna be an old guy.
All right. So, any final remarks? I just really appreciate everybody coming out. This is beautiful. Mutulu know how much he's loved and appreciated.
That's right.
And whenever you all see in the next couple weeks that the film is showing, make sure you try to, promote it and give people, because everybody needs to see what's in that film.
Oh my God, yeah.
Everybody needs to see that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I put it on Facebook.
It's on, the film itself is on YouTube, so if you can't make it to the screening, it's called Dope is Death, and it's a full film from Vice or something.
Okay, so if she put it on her Facebook page, I can
close us out.
Yeah, it's on YouTube for the whole thing.
Well, I just wanted to say that we do have regular meetings every Thursday, or every other Thursday, to discuss what to do next, the latest developments in this case. So Verbena or Sarah could give you the information about getting on those calls. And also, just to remind ourselves, it's quite interesting to see all the people coming out of the federal building today who have sworn their U.S. citizenship. Most of them were dark-skinned people from Asia and Africa. And, we congratulate them. I know it wasn't easy in this period. But hopefully, they won't fall victim to this system. And of course, we got a whole history of repression to talk about. So that's very, very important to recognize that people who are just coming into the United States realize that their propaganda is false. Because otherwise we wouldn't have people like Mutulu Shakur in prison for 36 years, and there's no physical DNA evidence, eyewitness evidence to link him to anything that they said he did, except setting up acupuncture clinics in the Bronx and later in Harlem. He definitely did that. And now, acupuncture is licensed. You can go get acupuncture treatment in cities all across the United States. It's not even considered controversial right now. So he was a pioneer in that kind of work. And he studied in Montreal and later in China. So anyway, thanks a lot for coming.
Freedom land! Freedom land!